Anti-Afro Svengalis. I thought I would follow up because there are things that need to be recycled back to reality. If you're not careful, you will see these demons continuing to crop up and so desperate in their attempts to rewrite their dastardly deeds into righteous conduct. They try to flip it around to where they were the victims of atrocities when they were in fact perpetrating the atrocities. Everything that they did, they turn around and try to lay it on the targets of their attacks. And I really wanted to make sure we brought it back home to reality. I'm going to play a few clips for you to set up this commentary. So stay tuned and I will return.
Man, that's wild that you're so enamored with somebody's personal life. You want to expose like that. I don't understand that one bit. I don't understand how people go through those links just to find out people's personal life. That shit makes no sense to me. That deep at all. I'm like, people on YouTube to have fun, to fuck around, whatever, do whatever, roast, just and whatever, enjoy themselves and keep you entertained. Nobody trying to lose they jobs and worrying about this, and you got to call the cops and make out police reports and all that kind of shit. That's crazy. That's what AAS does. Like I've been saying this stuff for years, man, and it keeps like I'm tired of repeating the same stuff, man. This lady been doing the same shit for over 5-6 years, and these fools still believe what this woman says. They are, I don't know, they cut and paste stuff. They edit stuff. They put different colors on it, and people just continue to believe any and everything this woman say. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, and she has not done anything to point out any real fraud, or nor has anybody been indicted or charged with any of the shit that she claimed that they did. I can't fight the fight no more. I'm like, I'm done, man. Like, I'm not gonna be here just. I know shit. People thinking, oh, he depressed no, I'm busy making money. What the fuck y'all think? Like this shit is old. Like people saying all this stuff. Like my life crashing down. It's like I don't get it. This lady has repetitively doctored documents, making shit say what it didn't say, putting stuff out there, man. And it's just people just eager to just listen and believe shit. Just eager, no matter what it is, no matter how erroneous it's. She said it; it must be true. When her channel went down the first time, she lost a lot. She really mad at me about that. But the thing about it is, the person that brought her channel down was CB. I actually thought about doing some content about how that happened, and I have all the emails and the receipts of how that shit grabbed. It took like 4 months to get, and it was constant email. It was all kind of information. Uh, they started with Umar, then they because she had over 2,000 videos on Umar, and believe it or not, she had over 1,200 videos on me, and this was from 2019 to was like 2 years of videos, and um and our channel got taken down in 21. So it was over 2 years of videos, and it took damn near 4 months. And the stuff that Catherine did, I don't it was basically like a full-time job doing this shit every day, constantly reporting. Uh they getting stuff back. You responding back, and you rebuttaling and all that like I don't have time for that. I just don't have time to be doing that.
Well, listen, if that's not a confession, I don't know what is. Did you catch it, people? Dempsey is up here invoking Catherine Brown as having taken down this channel or the previous channel that I had involuntarily migrated. I migrated that channel, but listen, before he said a contraband did it. Now it's Catherine Brown. And then he weaves in all of this other stuff that he claims she was successful at. She failed 100% to get anywhere. Is anybody believing that Dempsey had zero hand in that libelous, disastrous, going nowhere federal lawsuit? Anybody believe that? I don't believe that because listen, the second the court sided with us, and we knew they would, Catherine Brown ceased all activity on that lawsuit. She threw in Gerald after she made like a 3-minute speech about she knows nothing about Gerald Palmer and has nothing against Gerald Palmer. And they were trying to get her to go against Gerald Palmer. She had a 3-minute speech she gave. I don't know Gerald Palmer. I have nothing against Gerald Palmer. See, all these things we're going to be using against her if she ever tries to file any other lawsuit. And then all of a sudden, Gerald ends up in a lawsuit. Trust you, me, people. He gave himself away. We already knew it anyway. So he's trying to elevate her to some status that she doesn't have. The only thing she successfully did, if you will, 4 videos were put on 18 plus. You call that a victory? 4 videos and 18 plus? This is very interesting because when she called and wrote emails to one of my contractors, they found it extremely bizarre because she was making it seem as though I was a white person attacking black people, and that just was never going to be credible. And all the other wild claims that she put forth. See, me, everybody does things different. I'm not knocking anybody. I said I'm not calling anybody. I'm not warning anybody about anything. If somebody's going to file a complaint, file a complaint. If somebody's going to call, call. I don't care what these fools do because there's no way in hell they're going to be able to achieve their goal. They bank on lies. What they claim happened never happened. People can look at the page and see their claims of racial discrimination and white supremacists and all this crap. She said over and over on multiple live streams and lied in court documents saying she didn't say it, saying she never contacted any of my contractors, saying she wouldn't have any reason or method to do that. More lies. There's so many people. I'm not going to tell you all the lies, but the bottom line is the lawsuit never even made it past the first stage because there was absolutely no merit to her claims. Zero merit to her claims. You can sit down and write down the most outrageous, accusatory, vile, and reprehensible claims. You're not going to get anywhere without any proof. How are you going to put a video? Listen to this. How are you going to give a video to a judge and say, here, judge, look at this video. It says XYZ. You listen to the video, it says ABC. That is lying. She very clearly represented in many instances that I said and did things, that Gerald said and did things that were in videos, and she gives a video, and this has nothing to do with what she claimed. Tip of the iceberg, Dempsey is defeated. He is angry and has the nerve to sit here and complain about people talking about personal lives. And he used the word enamored. No, Dempsey was the one grinding on chairs while he referenced people's wives and girlfriends. Dumpsey did that. Dumpsey was the one who paid all of these contrabands to dig around in people's personal lives. But when people decided to start doing the same thing to them for the purposes of filing claims and making it known that these people are accusing others of doing things that they did, this is when he got to be what? This is not worth my time. I'm tired. He starts generating in more lies that I'm doctoring federal documents. Someone else said that. Well, where's your police report? But let me say this. You are free to say I doctored documents, government documents. You are free to keep repeating that. It does not bother me. You are free to file a complaint or contact the authorities. It does not bother me because it's going to be the same result. Zero. The same thing goes with Gerald. All this hopeful, all this wishful thinking that Gerald is going to turn around and act the fool on your asses like you acted the fool on him. It's not going to work. You can call him all kinds of wimps. You can call him all kinds of sensitive. You can call him any name you want to try to impose some ridiculous fallacy that he is reduced down to some wimp who plays with dolls. You are trying to get him to do the things that you have done. And it's not going to work. He's not going to get up here hollering and screaming and losing his temper here on YouTube like you want him to, like you have done. That is why they are so frustrated. They have been unable to get us to do what they are doing. And as far as Dempsey, facts are the facts. He's all well and good talking about everybody's personal business, running Lennon's family through the mud, including the children, having 3-hour live streams dissecting every aspect of his family life. But when his wife's conviction for child abuse, arrest for felony child abuse is uncovered, it's a problem. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference what anybody has to say about how I handle that. It doesn't make a difference. You have a freedom to express yourself, and I have the freedom to disclose the information and call out Dumpsey for his hypocritical bullshit. He is the one that came after my family, made up all these lies about my family. I have a right to respond when I want to respond. And his claim that we never got any success with our strategies and fraud, Dumpsey himself has been disciplined multiple times. He's lost contracts. He is the one losing money in contracts, nobody else. Gerald lost a job because he didn't report the threats. If you don't report threats, that puts other people in danger. He's not going to make that mistake again, but there's always something good that comes out of something bad. He's making tons more money than he is now and doing a lot less work. They're piling all this work on him, not giving him a raise. It was meant to be. It turned out just fine. In the meantime, Dempsey's doing what? $133,000 federal tax lien, and he's buying a new car. Oh, excuse me, not buying a new car. He's trying to make it seem as though he's buying a new car. Okay. What kind of success is that? What is there to envy about somebody with a $133,000 tax lien, married to a convicted child abuser, and buys a white, I don't know, what is it, Range Rover, they said? First off, a white vehicle was the cheapest one you can get. It's probably a rental car. Notice how he's standing outside the car. He's not in the car driving around and showing you any of the gadgets. And even if he did, I can go right now to any car dealer, go ask for a test drive and run a video inside. I can do that. I can go sit in the car and act like it. I can go stand next to a car. Here's the bottom line. It doesn't matter whether or not he bought the car, rented the car, whatever he did. He's irresponsible, just like he was irresponsible that led to his daughter, his 5-year-old child, being a victim of child abuse. He wasn't doing his job. And he's up here passing judgment on everybody else's family. And then again, he brought his wife into that office with a conviction of child abuse. She was managing the office. What kind of person does that? Somebody who thinks he can get up here and talk shit about everybody else. Dempsey can't talk shit about no one. You want to talk about somebody's life being in ruins? That would be Dempsey. Convicted child abusing wife who he lets work in a mental health office. This is absolutely outrageous. And let me point out, he is harping on his continuous lies that we've had no impact. Umar's ass is on the bus. What do you got to say about that? If Umar had it going on, Umar would at least have a hoopty of his own. Umar is only going around to hyena yelps so he can keep up with his child support. He didn't get ahead. He is living with his mother. And living with your mother alone is not a thing that I'm going to rag on, because it'd be all kinds of reasons. But it's how Umar acts. He's living with his mother and calling everybody else a bum. He's up here trying to lecture people about how to take care of their families, and he doesn't even pay child support. That's the point I'm driving home. And all the other lies Dempsey told in that video really aren't worth spending an inordinate amount of time on, like the claim that I made 1,200 videos on him. But he will say things like that because he has to try to see where he can find some measure of pseudo success. 1 million miles away from 1,200 videos on Dempsey. You gotta be kidding me, people. Everyone knows the overwhelming majority of those videos were on Umar Johnson. So anything he can do to try to make it appear he got some victory. 100% catastrophic, epic failure. That is what Dempsey got. Dempsey even got by the board. And he's saying I got disciplined and I had a meeting with the board. I've never had any meeting with any regulating board. In fact, they've never even contacted me regarding, quote, complaints, which means whatever they received, if they did receive it, had zero merit, no potential merit. It was probably easy for them to see that there was a campaign going on. Either way it goes, I'm not going to replicate demonic conduct. You're not going to see me do it. You can continue and try to get me to do it. You can try to spin all the lies you want about me. I'm never going to react the way these demons want me to. And the nerve of Dumpsey to sit here and complain about people talking about his family, he dissected Gerald's family, telling a bunch of lies about the composition of their family. Well, Gerald nor his wife have ever been charged with or accused of child abuse. None of his kids are in any situation where they're on probation for harming children or any probation. Whose families are you trying to compare? All Dempsey can do is lie and grind in chairs. And it's been stated so many times before, every single woman he has any dealings with, he ends up trashing and bashing and harassing and calling them all kinds of vulgar and disgusting names. They are fools for going back. Oh, that's their business. He lures them back with money, and when they can't do what he wants, he kicks them to the curb again. He's just pissed because the women that left and stayed gone aren't going back. So all he has to do is make up all these lies and claiming people listen to everything I say and we're making up all kinds of fake documents. Right. He has to say that to self-pacify the fact that he failed in his campaign. He paid Umar Johnson $10,000 plus and Umar never mentioned his name. He's paid all of these flunkies and it's gone to hell. Where did he get him? Nowhere. Nobody's paying attention to that. And it's so it's beyond even description for people to come up and say, oh, there's a beef. There's a beef because somebody's obsessively posting videos about somebody else and there is really no issue to get at. There's no resolution to address. Somebody just repeating the same lies over and over, or the people that they're talking about don't owe anyone any explanation. That's a beef. One side of obsessive habitual posting of videos on another person or mention a person's name 30 and 40 times in a live stream doesn't mean there's a beef. That means someone's trying to get someone else's attention who's paying them essentially dust. That does not equate with the beef. Bottom line is Dempsey failed. He wants to sit here and say, I pay people to do this and do that, but then he says, I'm broke. But if it came down to money, why didn't Dempsey prevail? If it's about someone paying money to other people to do what they want, how in the hell is Dempsey rock bottom? Because nobody's listening to what he says. He's paid money and he can't even get people to stop talking to me. He's having a heart attack trying to order people to stop talking to me, AAS, and if I come to your chat and she's there, I'm not going. Liar. He's been right there. If I so decide to go somewhere, I'll go there. If I don't want to go, I don't want to go. Dempsey has no bearing about what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go, who I'm going to talk about or talk to. Dempsey has no influence. Dempsey is a liar. Dempsey's up here saying that something about the manosphere. I don't even know anyone over there. And they don't know me. I've never had any engagement with anybody in the manosphere, so he's bringing up other platforms. He's the one that's running around to these different platforms trying to drag people's names with him, and they don't know me. There is one thing, however, I do know about the manosphere, very limited, and it's those who have restraining orders filed against them, those who have made threats towards others, and law enforcement has been involved. There are people who've been arrested, and there are people who are facing criminal charges. That's the extent of what I know about the manosphere. Those people in legal situations. The rest, I never met anyone over there. I don't know them. I've never spoken about them, and they do not know me. That's just Dempsey trying to make it seem that he's got some sort of clout. I am aware that they don't like him. In and around the Umar Johnson space, they've mentioned that the manosphere can't stand Dempsey. And all he does is whine and cry about them. He whines and cries about everybody because he feels like a failure. He feels as if he's on the outside. He wants to have a status that he doesn't have. He wants everybody listening. He wants a captive audience. That's why he keeps saying that I'm doing this, whatever you want to call it, magical spell, and everybody's listening to me. That's a fantasy for him. It's unrealistic. Nobody is in that position. This is a fantasy that Dumpsey's looking to fulfill for himself, but he doesn't know how to treat people so they will hang around long enough to even be dedicated to what he's doing. Anyone that goes over there, they're just hanging on for the train wreck. They're not dedicated to him. They go to other spaces. People over there there's a few people that go to Dempsey's channels and they are harmless. I call them harmless floaters. They go to different spaces. They don't cause any trouble and they just go and they participate and they listen and they're involved with live streams and you can't drag them into anything. And they will set the boundary. If you try to drag them to anything, we'll set a hard line. I'm not getting involved. Now, if somebody does something to them, they'll speak up, but they're not going to go on any mission on behalf of Dumpsey. That's what he's so pissed about. He has this fantasy in his head that I'm telling all these people to do things, that I'm paying them to do things. But he's saying that I'm broke and I have no money. He is pitiful. He's disgusting. He is an epic fail loser. Nobody gives a shit what he says because he's a liar. An unadulterated liar who's been busted many times over. I will continue to speak out on whatever I want to speak out on. He's crying and complaining about the cops being called, about jobs being called. You're damn right I'm going to contact a job. You're damn right I'm going to call the police if the situation calls for such. I'm not going to be intimidated or harassed out of doing just what I will do to protect myself, those I care about, those I love. I will do that. And there is nothing anybody can say that will change that. Now, you know I have much more coming your way. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.